Hi, welcome to the Get Ready with God podcast. My name is Julie Taylor, and I am your host, and I'm not God. Obviously, I'm not an expert. I'm not even a scriptorian. I'm literally just a girl sitting in front of a microphone, hoping God is real. The Get Ready with God podcast is the daily devotion podcast to help you see divinity in every day. I'm so happy you are here. Okay, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Thank you for supporting it and your likes, shares, reviews, subscriptions. Appreciate you. Thanks for keeping us going. Today, I want to share two experiences that I had that juxtapose each other that to me articulates so clearly the power that we have, the potential that we have to share and channel divinity for other people. And so, as we look for divinity every day, often we will find it through other people. And that is why showing up for each other matters, and serving each other matters, and loving and supporting and being good to each other really matters, because often we are how divinity reaches other people. And we all know this. It's like a duh, but I talked about this experience last week because it happened a few weeks ago. And it was really impactful meeting Raquel. And by the way, that is how you say her name. Some people were like, you're saying it wrong. No, okay, have you met her? No, her name is Raquel. Okay, that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, she was so lovely and was so divinely influential in my life on a day that I really needed it. And it just made me think about how we need to take our responsibility of our impact. We need to take responsibility for our impact on others in our daily lives and really understand how much our words and actions can influence other people. And it really can go either way. We can be the reason someone has a bad day, or we can be the reason that someone sees God in their day, truly. And so I was at a workshop a few months ago. It was like a marketing thing. And there's this coach and author there. And I asked her a question about publishing of like, why do you choose to self-publish versus go with a publisher? Because at the time, my publisher had my manuscript, but I hadn't signed a contract. And a lot of people in my circles were encouraging me to self-publish rather than go with a publisher. And so I was kind of just sorting through those choices and trying to get a lot of perspectives. And she had experience in publishing. And she just said, what publisher you're going with? And I said, oh, just a small one, because that's what I usually say, because most people haven't heard of the publisher that I'm going with. And so I said that. And then she asked me who, and I told her, and she was like, oh, so you mean like a really small one? And her reaction to that, like, it's fine, it's okay. But it made me feel so dumb, where I was just like, yeah, I know it's a small publisher. Okay. I don't have some 6-figure book deal. And I have worked in publishing for a long time. Like, I'm not a stranger to the industry. And so I understand the perspective of what my book deal is compared to what some people get. But I feel good about the path that I'm on, and I feel at peace with it, and I'm grateful for it, and I'm excited that the book gets to exist, and I'm excited that someone else is editing it and designing it and manufacturing it for me. And anyway, she made me feel really dumb. And I have minimized my book experience in my own mind and to others since that day, because I was like, oh yeah, this is embarrassing. Like, I don't have like that fancy of a book deal, and I don't make that much money, and I'm not that successful, and I don't have that many followers on Instagram, and my podcast isn't monetized, and I don't have an agency, and I'm not with a network, and all of these. I just kind of like spiraled of like, yeah, I really am not doing great. And I've kind of kept that energy for the last probably 2 months since that happened. And so I think that I've been not spiraling as dramatic, because I really, like, I haven't lost sleep over it, but I've just been like, yeah, remember, Julie, like, you're not successful. You're not a big deal. All these other people are so much more talented and more successful and more experienced than you. And you're just always going to be like this small voice in the community. And that's fine, by the way. And so that's kind of where I was at. And then I think I shared this last week, but I know that you probably don't listen to every episode. I shared last week that I have been really getting a lot of like resistance in the faith community from like what I share and how I believe and what I say. And I was having a really hard day about it. And then I went to Raquel's keynote, and she just kind of turned everything around for me. And hearing her sharing a message that is hard to share and that isn't popular and that gets resistance and ridicule, but she does it anyway because she knows what she's supposed to be doing. It was just really helpful for me. And it was very transformative that week for me. But then afterwards, I went and I was talking to her backstage, and she was about to go meet with a publisher. And so I was talking to her about her book experience, and my friend Vanessa was with me and she's like, oh, Julie actually has a book coming out. And so Raquel said, oh, what publisher are you going with? And I responded with, oh, it's just a small one. And she looked at me and she was like, stop that. Why would you say that? And it wasn't like a performative, like coach move of like, girl, know your power, know your worth, charge your worth. Like it wasn't that. It was like the most genuine reaction of offense for like, why would I put myself in that box? But she just kind of went off on me of just like, don't look at it that way. I don't know. She just gave me this pep talk. But just her reaction alone of like shock of why would you say that? Why would you say that? A small publisher? Okay, why would you say that? And it pumped me up in a way. Again, it's not really about like ego. I'm very at peace with my life and what I do and what I share and how I live it and my career. But her reaction to that, and it immediately made me think of 2 months ago in a similar situation where the response was the opposite of, oh, a really small one. And just that, just the way they reacted. And we can't be perfect. And I'm not trying to villainize this other coach. She's wonderful and she helps tons of people. And she definitely was not trying to put me down or make me feel small or stupid. And so I'm not trying to like pit them against each other. It was just two different reactions that I got. And one of the reactions made me feel stupid and small and dumb. And the other reaction made me think, hey, you should be kinder to yourself. Hey, you're doing okay. And it just made me think about which experience do I want to give people? What impact do I want to have when people talk to me about anything in life? How do I want them to feel from talking to me? I want them to feel like their worth is unchangeable. I want them to feel like God knows them and loves them. I want them to feel like they don't have to earn their worth or their goodness. I want them to understand the magic that they have, the gifts that they have, the impact that they have, the good that they do. And it doesn't require a stage, and it doesn't require a 6-figure book deal. It doesn't require a podcast. It doesn't require anything other than showing up in your life for the people in your life and the people next door and the people within your own home, your circle of influence, your partner, your kids, your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers, the people at Maverick that you see every single day because you get a donut and a Diet Coke every single morning. How do you want to make them feel? I think we have a responsibility to be intentional about that. And I think we have a responsibility to be careful in how we react to people and what we say to people. And I think that if we take that responsibility and intentionally show up, then we have the opportunity to create divinity in our impact. For everyone within our circle of influence, we have the opportunity to give more access points for divinity every single day. Because if they see light and they see goodness in you, and what I've learned is most often it helps them see it in themselves. I don't need anyone to think that I'm good or that I'm light or that I'm blah, blah, blah. I want them to see their own. But I've found the more comfortable I am being myself and the more I'm willing to show up completely as myself, it gives other people permission to do the same. And that permission and that recognition of their own light and magic inside of them is all I'm interested in trying to help people see. But we have that potential every single day, just in how we react to people, just in how we talk to people, just in how we look at people. We have that potential every single day. We also have the potential to make people feel dumb and small, insecure, and make people doubt themselves. So which do we want? Which do you want to choose? Take the responsibility seriously. Consider how you're impacting people. We can't micromanage how everything we do is perceived or interpreted, but we can do our best. And I think we should. We can be the divinity in someone else's day. That has to be the goal. That has to be the goal. So as you listen to this podcast and you search for divinity in your own life every day, I pray and plead with you to turn that into being divinity for other people. Because otherwise, none of this matters. None of this matters. We're here to serve. We're here to help other people see their light. If that's your focus, you will be happier. It will bring you more joy than basking in your own light ever will. Okay. I love you so much. Have the best day. Go be the divinity. Love you.